Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Auri, and if you're new here you can subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any videos that I'll be posting in the next weeks. Today we are going to talk about my must reads of 2023. These are books that I had in my TBR for a very long time now. I chose from my very big TBR list in Goodreads. I mean, we are all guilty of just adding and adding new books to our list, but we never really read them. So this time I chose to pick exactly like around 100 books from that TBR list, because in Goodreads I have like 400 books that I want to read. But I chose around 100 books for this year, so I will be picking my reads from that year, from that list. I'm a mood reader, so I never really stick to my monthly TBRs. Last year I tried to do a list of books that I wanted to read every month, and you know, in Bookstagram we do these templates, really cute templates, and put the pictures of all the books that we want to read this month. But I never really stuck to them, and this time I said I'm not gonna do a monthly TBR, but I have this huge list of around 120 books that I want to read first from my long TBR list, and I will be choosing from them. In this video I'm going to talk about around 10 items. They're not exactly 10 books, but they are 10 items in a list that I feel like I need to read them this year, because if I don't, then they're gonna be all forgotten. So this year I have to read them. Now we're gonna start with number one. Number one is the Shades of Magic series. Finishing, because I read the first book back in November of 2021, and actually it was my first Victoria Schwab book, because I read Ali LaRue in January last year. So I read the first book and I really liked it. I really liked it, but I never got to finish the series, and I have them in physical. So yeah, that's not good. But I remember the story, thank God, because I don't want to reread the first one. I remember the story, and I feel it was very introductory, but it was a very good world building. I don't know. I don't usually read YA because it's very hard for me to find good characters and good storyline and good writing. So this one was really good as far as I can remember. So this is my priority. I need to finish the last two books from the trilogy, so that's number one. Now, number two is finishing the rest of Taylor Jenkins Reid books. I love her. I mean, if you know me and if you follow me on Instagram, you know that my favorite book is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And I read mostly all of her most known books, like Malibu Rising, Daisy Jones and the Six, Carrie Soto's Back, and I remember listening to the audiobook of what was that? One True Loves and Evidence of the Affair, which is a very short novel, and I love them. I really love them. So I have to finish all of her other books that are 3 books. It's Maybe in Another Life, After I Do, and Forever Interrupted. And I've heard friends talking about them, and they say they're really good. Maybe they're not as good as main 4 ones, but it's still, I mean, I love her writing. She's amazing. I mean, you can lose reading her books. So I really want to finish reading all her books this year. Okay, so number 3 is the Beardtown series. The Beardtown series, I've seen a lot of my favorite bookstagrammers on Instagram posting about them and reviewing them, and I'm really excited to read them. Last year, again, I read my second Fredrik Backman book, which was A Man Called Uva. I think it's called like that, I don't know. And in 2021 I read Anxious People. So I loved his writing style. I really, really love his writing style. I mean, he can write the most simple story, but you're gonna fall in love with him. So I decided last year that I wanted to read for him too all of his books. And I read already Anxious People, A Man Called Uva. My grandmother told me to tell you she's sorry, something like that. I started reading Brit Marie Was Here. I haven't finished it yet. And a couple of days ago, I listened to the audiobook of the short story The Deal of a Lifetime. This is another author that I want to read all of his books. So this year, the Neapolitan Series is a priority. Now, number 4 is Old Lady Fortune. I read last year This Violent Delights, and I had the opportunity to meet Chloe Pong because she came here for a book fair, and it was amazing. She is so nice, she's so cool, and I love This Violent Delights. Both of the books are so fun to read and so interesting and so beautiful written. And like I said, I don't usually read YA because I find it really hard to find good characters, good storyline, and good writing. And she has all of these 3 in all of her books. So yeah, this is like a follow-up from a character from This Violent Delights. So it's better if you read those 2 first. And I really want to know what's happening with this character now. But yeah, those are priority. Okay, and also number 5 is the Neapolitan Series by Elena Ferrante. This is literary fiction. This is an Italian writer, and I got last year the first book in physical, and I remember reading the first chapter and I said, okay, no, I have to have all of her books, all of these book series before I started reading them because I really like the writing style. And I read again, I don't know if in November or December, I read The Lying Life of Adults, which was my first Ferrante. And even though it wasn't what I expected in the storyline, but the writing was amazing. So yeah, I want to read this book. I love her writing style. And I've seen this everywhere again in books around, so yeah, I need to read them this year. This year is the year I read my Ferrante novels, so good. Now 6 is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This book was named the best book of 2022 in fiction, and I have this friend Jasmine that it's the only book she recommends to everyone, and I trust her with every book recommendation because she has a great taste and a lot of people has read it and it's great. I mean, come on, it's the best book of 2022. So yeah, I didn't read it last year. I don't know why. I have absolutely no idea what it is about. Someone told me that it's a little bit about video games, but that's all I know. And that's one fun fact that you need to know about me, is that I never read a synopsis of books. I like to go in blind. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but I think I only find books when I'm looking for certain genres. And authors, of course, and recommendations from people I trust, people that I know have good taste. And I don't read the synopsis. I go in blind. So it has worked for me. It has worked for me in The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It has worked for me in Nadia LaRue. I think it's great. I know some people need to know what is happening to see if you're interested in it, but yeah, I mean, if you don't find it interesting in the first, 20 or 30%, you can just leave it. That's a rule that you can apply this year. Because I didn't like to DNF books when I started reading again, because it felt wrong and but now I don't care. If I'm not glued to the story, around the 30% mark, then it's gone. Now, number 7 is The Master and the Margarita. Another goal I made for this year is to read more Russian literature, and I've seen this one around in Goodreads mostly, not in other social media. I haven't seen them in many social media. The reason why I want to read more of this genre is because, one, I know the writing will be a challenge for me, and two, because I love learning about the history of these old times in this culture. In this one, I did read the synopsis, so I wanted to read it to you. So it says, one hot spring, the devil arrives in Moscow, accompanied by a retinue that includes a beautiful naked witch in an immense talking black cat with a fondness of chess and vodka. The visitors quickly wreak havoc in a city that refuses to believe in either God or Satan. But they also bring peace to two unhappy Muscovites. One is the master, a griot pillored for daring to write a novel about Christ and Pontius Pilate, and the other is Margarita, who loves the master so deeply that she is willing literally to go to hell for him. I mean, come on, tell me you don't want to read that just for that synopsis. Number 8 is On Earth We're Briefly Beautiful. Now, this is a letter from a son to his mother who cannot read. It's written when the speaker is in his late 20s, and the letter unearths a family history that began before he was born. And a lot of people has compared it to A Little Life. And if you know, I read A Little Life in December, and it took me like a month to read, and it was worth it. It was a really beautiful story, but it was hard. It was really hard to read. So I think this one is a little bit like that, and I'm excited. I'm excited to read this one. Number 9 is the other two Sally Rooney books. Those are Conversation with Friends and Beautiful World, Where Are You? Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that last year I read Normal People, and I didn't really like it. I didn't like it. Don't hate me here, okay? I know it's everyone's favorite, but I feel it just wasn't for me. I don't think it's bad. It just wasn't for me in this time. If I read that book maybe when I was 18 or 19, I would have loved it. I know, I'm sure I would have loved it. But now the characters were really annoying for me, especially Connor. Like I felt bad for Marianne, but I couldn't stand Connor. The storyline was just, I know it's a book with just vibes, not plot, and I get that. But the tropes in this one, like miscommunication and all that, is just not for me. But I did like the writing style. I really, really liked the writing style, and it was the only thing that kept me reading until the end. So that's why I'm giving 2 chances to Sally Rooney with those other 2 books. And I've seen comments about Conversation with Friends that says it's a little bit like Normal People, but some people like it better. And I've heard really good reviews about Beautiful World, Where Are You? So I want to read them. I want to form my own opinion on this one. So yeah, these are number 9. And number 10 goal for my priority list is start the Mirror Visitor series. Now, I said start because these are 4 books and they are fantasy books. This series has been recommended to me by very specific persons around books around and book Twitter for me. And I trust these people with this recommendation, so I really want to start it. I know that the first book is very slow because, let's be real, every first book of a fantasy series is very introductory. Almost 80% of the book is world building. In the 20+% of the book, everything happens and everything is solved, and it's like a little introduction to what's next. So I understand that. That's why I want to start this book at least this year and read the first one, and then I'm going to follow up with the series. So yeah, these are around 16 books that I want to read this year. If we come to July or August and you don't see these books on my monthly wrap-ups in my account, please call me out publicly because I need to read this. I really want to read them, and I need to read them this year, because if I don't, I won't read them ever again. So yeah, this was all for today's video, and thank you again for watching all of it if you're here still. And it would be great if you hit the like button, and again, you can subscribe. You can add me on any social media as luthoreads. It's in the description box above. And yeah, add me, talk to me. If you want to read any of these books with me also, DM me and we can read them together, maybe form a little group chat, I don't know. So yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.